Good morning, my friend. How the heck are you? I'm super pumped to be here with you today. Hopefully, there's not too bad a lag in my audio. I was having some trouble there today. We've got a special guest for you. We are going to be joined by Teena Hughson from the Jessica Martel Memorial Foundation. We're going to talk a little bit about the Ignore No More Run for Respect coming up. So if you guys have been here before, you know I usually ramble for a couple of minutes to let you get your coffee, get settled in, do your thing. So a couple of quick housekeeping items. We have the Ignore No More Run for Respect coming up this Sunday. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. I'm working with some new software today. So again, if you've got questions, if you've got comments, drop them below, and both Teena and I will be able to see them, and we will try and address them. We can actually bring comments up on screen and all kinds of fancy stuff these days. Good morning, Carrie. How the heck are you? Good to see you this morning. Are you going to join us for the run? Carrie's a big runner, so all right, I'm going to go grab Jessica from the green room here, or not Jessica, sorry, Teena. All right, my friend, hang on a sec. Let's go grab Teena. Teena, how the heck are you?
I'm great this morning. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing all right. I am doing all right. I'm getting excited. We got a bit of a thing coming up this weekend.
Yeah, so I'm really excited that we were able to find a way to safely bring people together during this really challenging and complicated time.
Yeah.
This run means a lot to the foundation. So it was one of our earliest fundraisers.
So tell us a bit about who you are and first, and then we can dive into what the foundation is.
Okay, so I'm Teena and I work for the Jessica Martel Memorial Foundation. We are not for profit serving the Sturgeon region. Realistically, we're serving the greater capital region and in some cases many different communities across the province, because we have just opened Alberta's newest emergency shelter. First new shelter to be open here in the province in 22 years.
Wow.
And it's really a special place. It's one of only a handful of shelters in Canada that provides services to individuals of any age or gender, all in the same facility. So we don't segregate people. If there's a bed, we make it available to whoever's calling and whoever's in need. So, of course, we have a story that was rooted in tragedy, really. On April 29th, 2009, a young Morinville mom was trying to navigate her way out of a really horrible situation. She made the brave but difficult decision to leave, and it didn't work out for her. Her partner became suspicious or aware of her plans, came home, and he brutally beat her and strangled her to death in front of her 3 young children.
Oy.
Yeah, so it really hit the community hard. I was never fortunate enough to meet Jessica, but everywhere I go, people talk about her warmth and her love and her generous spirit, and how it didn't matter how difficult things got for her. She was always willing to just go the extra mile to cheer someone up. She would give the last $5 in her wallet to anyone in need, and she was always singing. So there was a restaurant here in Morinville, and she used to sing to her clients and made so many friends, and it was, well loved at her high school. And it's just, that's what brought the community together. They said, enough is enough. We need to do something. So we blazed a trail and we raised money. We built a really big house, 9,200 square feet, 35 beds, and we're doing things our own way. It's a very technical thing. It's a low barrier, trauma-informed facility. That means that we're not going to make it hard for people to access the service. So if you are not safe at home, you'll be safe at Jessie's house. And that's the way we want it, and that's the way it's going to be.
So why was there a need? So Jessica's mom really spearheaded this whole initiative, correct? So,
Yeah.
So what was the need, and why Morinville?
Okay. Well, the need was that Jessica had reached out to area shelters, regional shelters, or shelters in the province, and she had been turned away on multiple occasions. And that's just simply a capacity issue, right? So it's beds were not available when they needed to be available. So right now we're looking at last year, more than 23,247 women, children, and seniors were turned away from shelters at capacity in Alberta. So you compare that to the number of people who reached out for help, 70% turnaway rate right now in the province, and that's pretty consistent to numbers that I've seen across Canada. So 70% of the time you're going to call in need of a bed and you'll be turned away. So it was just, we said enough is enough. We need a place for our people to go, and it just grew, right? Lynn had a vision for this small 2,500 square foot house where she would be house mom and she would be supporting all these families, and now we're bigger than we ever imagined, and you know, we opened during a global pandemic, so that says a lot about our adversity and desire. We're just not willing to let anything stand in our way.
Right. Yeah. I kind of like that. It speaks to sort of the resilience of the community, of the foundation,
Yeah,
and you know the need to continue to move forward.
that's right.
So yeah. So this will be. So last year was year 7. Is that right?
Yeah, so this is our 8th, right? So this is one of our earliest fundraisers, and nobody was willing to let it go. And we're like, well, we have to do it. Like, there's no way we're gonna let this lie. Last year, you know, we had great success with the run, and you know, we're a little bit more modest this year in our goal, because we realize that, you know, so many people are struggling right now. There's massive unemployment. People don't have necessarily as much to give, but one thing that everyone can give is their voice to this amazing movement that you have been really working hard to promote. So we're really proud to be aligned with you and the message that you are delivering.
Yeah, so I mean, let's touch on that. I mean, Michelle and I founded the Ignore No More Run for Respect 4 years ago. This would be our 4th year running. So for those of you listening, Teena and I connected at some point last year, and
Yeah.
I went out to their run, and we started talking about, you know, maybe we should look at how we could combine forces, because again, collaboratively and together, I think we have a much louder voice.
That's right.
And for me personally, my intention was never like, for me, it's not about the fundraising. For me, it's about having the conversation about how men can get involved in the prevention of gender-based violence. And you know, as a runner, this was just a great way to do it. And then we've always partnered with organizations that need the fundraising component. So yeah,
Yeah.
this was just a natural fit. And I'm super excited. I'm disappointed that we couldn't do this live. But we're still doing it. We're still doing it, and the need is even greater than ever. So for those of you listening, if you guys haven't yet, hit up ignorenomore.ca. You can click on the registration link there, or find the Jessica Martel Memorial Foundation on Facebook, or Ignore No More on Facebook.
That's
Hopefully
right.
we're all over the place. Hopefully you've seen us lots.
Yeah.
Drop me a note in the comments. Let me know if you guys can make it out. As Teena said, we recognize that individuals are struggling financially these days. So we've completely removed the financial barrier to entry. If
Yeah.
you can't afford to donate, you can register for free. And what we're looking for is 29 minutes of activity. So that could be running around the backyard with your kids.
Mhm.
And or if you're a runner, you can sign up for the 10K virtual run and get out there on Sunday. And if you're a runner, you're probably going to go run 10K on Sunday anyways.
That's right.
So sign up, lend your voice. So talk to me about the significance of the 29 minutes. Why are we moving for 29 minutes?
We picked 29 minutes, really to honor Jess's memory. That's one of the biggest, most important component of this run, is that, you know, Jess's spirit, Jess's memory, and really rewriting the ending to that terrible story. So her message is one of hope, and our foundation is one of, it provides a message of hope, and we want people to, as they're participating for 21 minutes, really to remember that, you know, Jess lost her life on April 29th, 2009. And it's it's why we're doing what we're doing, and it's very emotional, and it gets difficult to talk about. You think that the more you do it, the easier it gets, and it really doesn't, because the impact really hits you, right? That was
Yeah.
supposed to be the start of a brand new life for her and those beautiful children, and in those moments, the fear and the terror that everyone experienced, and the hurt that the surviving members of her family must have felt, and then to come back in this way and to really mobilize community, because it's a remarkable project. I mean, this is not something that we've been out tapping public dollars to fund. This is something that is very much a grassroots movement. So nearly 100% of the funds for this project have been provided by volunteers who spent their time organizing runs such as these, other fundraisers such as our gala or our cabaret that we hosted for the first time last year. It's individual donations, corporate donations. The number of grants that we've been able to access successfully is pretty nominal when compared to the scopes and of this project, and it really speaks volumes to the need and that people wanted this.
Yeah. I mean, sadly, I think we're well too aware of the need, and I think it's just, hey, good morning, Jackie. How are you? I think it's critical that we continue to have these conversations and not forget. I mean, that's kind of the easy part, is to just put this off to the side and go on about our daily lives. But we really do have the opportunity, as you said, really to lend your voice. And guys, like, again, we need to be part of the solution.
Right.
What I've found a little bit frustrating at times is, a lot of the time it's the female voice speaking up about this issue, but the reality is this isn't a women's issue. This is
Right.
a
So
humanity issue.
Yeah.
And we really need to come together to do it. So one of the other things I just want to highlight for everybody watching, if you've got the opportunity and you can donate, that is greatly appreciated. Last year was a record year for fundraising for the foundation, and this year, I mean, obviously businesses are suffering. A lot of the funds came from business sponsorship, which just isn't happening this year because we know everybody's hurting. So our goal this year was 15,000, and we're sitting a little shy of that right now. Whereabouts are we, Teena?
Yeah, so we're at around 10.8. So I still have faith that our community will pull through and that we'll meet or maybe even exceed that goal. I do know that there's people on there who are out there hanging on waiting to the last minute to get mobilized, and and anyone who registers can just reach out to me. And there's some really old school people who ask for a manual pledge sheet. So I know that some of that stuff's going to come in, and the medals started to move really well this week as well. So we got some beautiful commemorative medals for people who want. We really put those out there just so that the people, because there are people participating in this run who've been there for 8 years.
Yes.
So and at Jessie's house is the result of their efforts, right? It has nothing to do with me sitting here having a coffee with you, having a chat, right? It's a very small part of what makes this foundation and this house so special. It's the people who are doing the work and raising the money. So
and I mean, this is the thing I love about things like the run or I mean, any of these events, but for me in particular, the run, seeing the community come together,
right.
to not only do something to stay active and fit, but at the same time give back to the community. And I think that's just so incredible. And as you said, we've all got an opportunity to just show up. And I think that's something that we can't underestimate. I'm sure you've got stories. I know for me, when just showing up, sharing my story, standing up, visibly standing up, has allowed so many other people to do the same and say, okay, hey, wait a minute. So I'm not alone. That's useful, because okay, so now I feel like I actually do have a community that I belong to. I do have a community that I can grab onto, and so just visibly standing up I think is huge.
Yeah, and the 29 minutes of activity. I mean, we had families in mind when we put that out there, right? This is an issue that affects families and obviously single people too. But take the time to really reflect on what you can do as a family to support other people in the community. So it's taking a stand against those bogus stereotypes, those bogus attitudes, is saying it's not okay, and then just reflecting on what that means for you and your life and your parenting and how you spend time with your loved ones.
Yeah, well, I always talk about the fact like violence doesn't start with violence. It starts with beliefs and attitudes. And so it begins by challenging our own beliefs and attitudes, making, checking in and making sure that those are healthy. And then the next step is to challenge those negative beliefs and attitudes we see around us, and especially for the guys. Hey, Jackie, that'd be awesome. So Jackie's in Australia. Jackie, all you got to do is move for 29 minutes. I know you can do that. So you can sign up as well. So we actually have registration from, I think, Poland. We've got Northern Ireland. We've got down in Florida. My hope was that we could get all the provinces and all the states covered. I know I did a Facebook Live in Ottawa this week as well. So yeah, geographically diverse. That's the beauty of the virtual run, is there's really no geographic barrier to entry.
That's right.
Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah, no, we love that enthusiasm.
So where can, if somebody is in need of your services, how do they find you? And maybe more importantly, at what point should somebody reach out?
At any point, right? So we recognize that people who are navigating abuse are at many different stages of that process. They may be thinking that something's not right, and they're just looking for assurance and education about what healthy relationships really look like. And for that reason, we encourage them to reach out to our crisis line and connect with our outreach program. And sorry, I have a cat here. And we also, they could also be, in danger, right? So obviously, extreme danger. If you're in immediate danger, you call 911. But we also have a crisis line, so 24/7. That's 1-866-939-2850. That'll get you to someone to talk to, someone to provide tangible, safe advice about safety planning. And that's also the line that you call for shelter intake. So if we can help you, we will, in whatever capacity we are able to. And of course, in providing you with the services that you're looking for, right? And respecting your choices and providing you with the opportunity to make the decisions about what's right for you.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's really important. Like, just to re-emphasize that, it's never too early to pick up the phone.
That's right.
But it can be too late. And I think that's really a critical thing. And the problem with abuse is it's often, well, it certainly never starts as overt.
Yeah.
So when you're in it, you don't always know you're in it.
Something might just feel off, right?
Yeah. And, like I said, you certainly don't want to wait until you absolutely know you're in it, because by that point it's often too late. And it's like the boiling frog analogy. If you throw a frog in a pot of boiling water, they jump right out. But if you start to put them in the cold water and boil them, they'll stay until they boil. And that's what happens in abusive relationships. So thanks, Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. Chuck donated.
Oh, thank you, Chuck.
Awesome. Are you going to move with us, Chuck? Are you a runner? I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay.
Anyways, is there anything else you want to add for anybody watching?
Yeah, so public education, that's a huge part of what we do, and a huge part of why your message really resonated with us, Mike. And although some of the programs that we offer are different, I do want to just take a moment to let people know that we do that kind of work too. So We have two very well-established programs that we deliver. That's Make It Our Business, because we recognize that business owners have a huge role to play in supporting individuals and families. And we also do Cut It Out, targeted towards hairstylists, estheticians. You'd be surprised at what people will tell their hairdresser when they're in that chair, and it's a safe place. It can be a safe place. So we provide the skills to those people so that they can safely support people in the community. And of course, custom presentations. So if people are looking for ways to really provide that grassroots level of support, right? We really want to build community capacity to support individuals who are living with violence, because we recognize that we're not in this alone. We need you. We need your support for these events. We need your donations, and of course, we need your emotional support. We need you to carry our message and to continue doing what you do to support others in the community.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, and your website again?
Oh, it's jmmf.ca. Or you can just search for Jessica Martel online. It's easy to find.
Right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me, Teena, and for everybody watching. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Once again, I implore you to join us this Sunday, Father's Day. Let's get the dudes involved. I really want to see an army of guys just showing up. If you can't donate, that is A-OK. You can still register for free. Just hop on and just show up. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Move for 29 minutes. Go run a 10K, whatever that is. All right, friends, we will see you again tomorrow. Thank you very much, Carrie. And again, for those of you watching, tomorrow, Michelle and I are actually going to do something together in studio here, and we're going to talk a little bit about healthy relationships. And specifically, somebody had actually, a number of people had asked me, how do you support a partner that has been through an abusive relationship? Because that takes some special navigating sometimes. There's some unique challenges in relationships that come up with that. So Michelle and I are going to talk about how we've managed to do that for the last 3 years. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Awesome. Have a good day.